Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are discussing the exotic chess piece that should replace your Phoenix Protocol and probably most of your other super regen exotics. Mantle of Battle Harmony is an exotic chess piece that has the perk absorption cells. That states takedowns with weapons that have a damage type matching your subclass element grant you super energy. While your super energy is full, you instead gain a temporary damage bonus to that weapon type, to the damage type of that weapon, matching your subclass element. Now that super energy is mostly granted by the damage you do, having an exotic that can give you super energy on a primary weapon kill, or any energy type weapon kill that matches, right? So, it can even be a heavy weapon, right? If you run like a you run a HMG or something, right? You run a heavy machine gun, or you run like you're on an arc subclass and you run salvage or salvo or something. You know, could be pretty good there too. Second, having the ability to hold that super and be given a 25% damage bonus to that weapon type, matching your subclass, makes it so that when you don't need that super, it's at least doing something for you. You know, you get the super fast, but if you don't need it at that moment to pop it, well, it's not doing anything for you, right? So that's why I don't typically run high intellect, because if you don't need that super, there's no point to having it up all the time, right? I personally think this exotic is strong enough now to be ran, and of course, I have a build for you today. This build makes this exotic super strong, and the greatest part about this build is no matter what content you play, your super uptime will always be the same, and it makes it so that you can take this build into any content and have it be viable. If you play, you know, everyday strikes, or you play GMs and master raids, this build will work in 90% of content to give you your supers, no matter what super you play. I currently recommend it for Well, because I think Well is the most important super in the game for 90% of content. But, of course, you could run it with any super, right? Alright, let's go ahead and dive into this build. First up is our helmet. The helmet is on solar and has 2 assets on it. That way, when you do get those grenade kills, you can have that super cooldown even faster. Second, the gloves are set to stasis with an elemental time dilation. You'll see why this is here in just a couple minutes. But this is also a small mod and gives you enough room for a primary champion mod and or a special / heavy champion mod. Third, we have Mantle of Battle Harmony. Mine is currently set to solar, though, as with many of my builds, I put on a neutral mod here, so that way if you need to flip this around to void or arc, you can, because I have our first copy of Font of Wisdom here. So say you need arc resist or void resist, or in the future maybe we have stasis a lot, so maybe a stasis resist. Like, you have the space here to just switch this around to whatever you need. And obviously in Witch Queen we'll be able to just flip them for free. So, well, basically free. I mean, it's 20,000 glimmer and an upgrade module. That's basically free. So you don't really have to worry about having 7 bajillion copies of every exotic all the time. Fourth, we have our boots with the intention of running recuperation, and then a Font of Wisdom in the combat style slot, trying to stack as much time as possible with Font of Wisdom up to grant us that really fast super regen time we are looking for. If you don't know Font of Might, I'm not sure if they've changed Font of Might with how they changed super regen. To me, it feels like they haven't, and so Font of Might was basically like running old tier 10 intellect. So, like, if y'all remember tier 10 intellect had, like, your passive super gain was like super fast. And that's how Font of Might still is, and I think with all the super changes, I think Font of Might spiked in, like, its viability, and I still think it is that way. Its super regen time is super fast all on its own. Like, it is really fast and with 2 copies of it with an elemental time dilation, you can legitimately have it up for like 30 seconds at a time, and it refreshes every time you pick up a new elemental well, so you have it up legitimately all the time. Lastly, our class item, we have elemental armament and a copy of particle deconstruction here. The elemental armaments makes it so that this build literally works in any content and on any class. You have elemental armaments to spawn elemental wells that match your subclass, bountiful wells to spawn 2 of them, and then font of wisdom to give you super cooldown when you pick up those elemental wells that match your class. And so, as long as you are matching your weapon to that subclass, you're always got it. The nice thing about this build is that as long as you are continuing to change your primary weapon to match that damage type, as I've said, you can run this class and this exotic on literally any class. You know, you want your stasis super back really fast. Run like a Peace Bond or an IS Luna with this, and you'll have, you know, Shadebinder up all the time. You know, you want an Bomb a lot. This is probably better than Skull of Dire Ahamkara, because you're only going to get 50% back with Skull of Dire Ahamkara, and there's a lot of ways with Nova Bomb to create Void Elemental Wells too, so there's a lot you can do here. I personally recommend this for Well because I find Phoenix lacks the diversity of this exotic even in in-game content. I personally kind of feel like Phoenix and Ursa's kind of sucks now. I get the 50% super is still strong, but if 50% super was really that strong of a thing, we would be running things like Orpheus Rigs and things like Skull of Dire Ahamkara. We don't run those not because the supers are attached to are bad. We run them because the super regen time is not worth it for the other options you could possibly run. And I think we are in the same boat now when it comes to Phoenix and Ursa's. Ursa's are really strong still if you have 2 of them. Like, if you have 2 Ursa's Titans, like, they could really still chain them back to back to back really easily, especially if you're taking a lot of damage. And so I think Ursa's are still worth it, but I really do not feel like Phoenix is worth it at all. Especially if you get an Ad Clear super teammate, like, it's just not worth it, because you're just going to get capped out at 50%, like, so fast. And so now you're just waiting on your teammates' orbs from their stuff, right? That is all I have for you today. I appreciate all the support recently. We have broken 34 subs in just over a month. Thanks to everyone. Last reminder, the build details from Destiny Item Manager will be in the description. And if you haven't already, please consider liking the video and subscribing. And if you haven't already, see you all on Wednesday for a new video, and goodbye.